Today on the channel, we've got a double unboxing. I've got a record player and a CD player from Vangoa. Let's do it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do something a little bit fun, a little bit different. We're going to do a double unboxing. I work with Vangoa from time to time. They're a really nice music company, and they asked me if I wanted to do a review of their vinyl record player and a CD player, and I said of course, I'd be happy to put it on the channel and check it out and give it a full review for everybody here watching if you're interested. Fair warning, it's about 100 degrees outside right now near Nashville, Tennessee. It's so hot that my cat won't go outside. I've got 3 cats, and this one cat that's inside right now meows constantly, so he refused to go outside. So he may make an appearance vocally on this video at several moments. So just be on the lookout. If you hear a cat, that's what it is. Anyway, let's get to unboxing. We're going to do the record player first. At least I think that's what this box is, being it's a little bit larger than this. I've got a vinyl record player that I bought a long time ago at H.H. Gregg, and it's going through through an amplifier and an old Radio Shack EQ that's really nice, and I enjoy vinyl. I like records. I've got lots of records. So they're nice, man, and my sons, who are in their early 20s, have grown to appreciate vinyl, which I think is cool. Vinyl's a little bit difficult to store. It's heavy and takes up a lot of space, but man, if you really get the records you like, nothing beats dropping the needle on a nice analog recording. Some of the old ZZ Top, the original Foreigner and Cars albums, Boston, heck, the old Van Halen records. Okay, so let's check this out. This is, it just says Vangoa vinyl record player. Looks like I've got a needle. This package here comes with with maybe a spare needle, I'm thinking perhaps. It might be the needle that comes with the unit itself. Here's a power cable. Let me keep all this stuff situated. This is a Velvet Records stylus brush. All right, so we've got this is a little kit that's got a brush in it for the stylus. I'm not sure what this is. Let's see. All right, looks like something that you'd play your 45s on, I do believe. I could be wrong, but that looks like a little weighted thing for your 45 records if you want to put some 45s on there. For you young whippersnappers out there, 45s are the small, short play. They're not the long play records. There's the singles. I think this comes with speakers and everything. I'm trying to be really careful. Vinyl players are extremely fragile in my experience. Okay, so let's see. Here I was thinking I was going to have to play this through my stereo system, but it looks like we've got some powered speakers here. So I'm going to get these boxes out of the way. My cat will probably enjoy that. That's probably going to cause him to come over here, start going crazy. Hopefully not. I love him, but gosh, he can be annoying this time of year. Nothing makes him happy. Okay, so these are kind of like a wood grain looking speaker. They've got little rubber feet on the bottom of them, or felt. Looks like little spongy felt feet. Okay, and this has a mono RCA cable out. Okay, interesting. All right, let me open this other one up. All right, let's see what we have here. Make sure this came okay. There are no power switches on these speakers, so everything must be powered through this record player. So there's the right side. The red one would be right, the white one would be left, evidently. And those are tiny little bookshelf speakers. Nice. Once I get this all set up, we'll test it out. All right, let me see. What's the best way to get this thing out of here? Looks like the opening is right here. This is probably all taped down to be safe and secure. Let me move this out of the way. Okay. I'll take the plastic off the top of this. This is packed really, really nice. Sorry for the noise. I think I'm doing this right. This thing looks pretty cool, man. All right, I've got all the, looks like I got all the plastic off of it. Okay. I don't know if you can see this or not, but the inside of this has a little felt tray on it for the records. It says Vangoa. And here is some tape that's holding down. This looks like the 45 disc, like the little disc, the traditional disc you would use for a 45. So I don't know what that other thing is for. Maybe it's a weight. That could be just a counterweight. Sometimes records, when you drop a needle on them, sometimes they need a little bit of weight when they spin around to hold the needle in place. So maybe this thing is a, you know, a counterweight for your records when you put it on there. You know, looks like this. I don't know if that screws on or if that's just a handle. So maybe that's just a weight. I don't know. Anybody that's really into records, like major into records, can let me know. Okay, so, whoops, there's a little bread tie on this piece. Okay. And let me make sure I don't break this. All right, there's a little lever that allows us to lift this thing up. Okay, so there's a speed adjustment. There's 45, 33, and 78s. And there is an auto stop on and off. So you can put auto stop on. And then there's a lever. Can't really probably see what I'm doing here. There's a lever that lets you raise and lower the needle. Let me see. It looks like the needle is covered up. Looks like there's a little protector on it. It comes with a needle, so that spare needle that we saw in the, or that needle that we saw in the packaging was a spare. Okay, so let's look at this thing from the side. The side of this has got a USB out, headphones out, there's a Bluetooth out, there's a play and rewind button, and a volume and a record button. So I have no idea. I'll have to look at the manual why on earth there would be a play and pause and a fast forward button. I have no idea, unless this has some other features I'm not aware of. But then the on-off switch is right here. Nothing is lighting up, so I'm not really sure what the deal is with that. Okay, so on the back of this unit is, okay, here's the power. The power switch goes right here, and then there's the right and left XLRs, and that's an auxiliary in. So you can do an aux in on it. So maybe this acts as a Bluetooth transmitter. Who knows? Who knows? Let me look at the manual real quick. Let me scan the manual and see what it says. How to clean the system, how to replace the stylus, blah, blah, blah. Troubleshooting using Bluetooth. When the tone arm is in the arm holder, you can activate the Bluetooth mode. When the product is in Bluetooth mode, the blue indicator light flashes, which means it's ready to pair. Please find the Bluetooth name Vintage Turntable on your Bluetooth-enabled device and connect to your product. It will indicate when the light remains on with a prompt tone, and it will go ding dong. That's funny. So evidently you can sync a Bluetooth device to this and play it through your speakers also. So if you got sick of playing records, you can sync it to Bluetooth. So, hey, an added feature. So what I'm going to do, real time, is, well, I don't know. I was going to run power to this thing and put a record on it, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'll have to stop the camera because I've got to run an extra power supply. But I'm going to set this thing up right here on this table, right where we're at. Within a few minutes, I'm going to plug this power supply into the back of the record player, run power to it, plug these speakers in, and we'll put a record in here. Hopefully I can find something that won't get me copyrighted or messed up with YouTube. So we'll check that out, and then we'll unbox the CD player and see what that sounds like. Cool. Let me get a record and a power supply. I'll get these things plugged in. We'll see how it sounds. Okay, I've got the record player on. I've got everything set up and ready to go. As you can see, the turntable is spinning because I turned it on. So I'm going to lift this up. Hopefully this won't get me into any copyright problems here, but we're going to put on some Ventures, some Wild Things. I've got it set at 33 1/3. Going to lift up the arm. We'll bring this over slightly and drop the needle. Here we go. Oh yeah. I like it, man. This is actually pretty awesome. This 60s stuff is so corny.
Come on and hold me tight.
Okay. Let me lock this back down like this. Turn it off on the side. I'm not going to sync it up to Bluetooth right now. I really don't have any need to do that, but if I wanted to, I could sync it up Bluetooth to my phone and run Bluetooth through these speakers as well. Cool. Let's unbox the CD player and check it out. That's really nice. Okay, so I got to admit that was a lot of fun. I looked on Amazon's website, and Vangoa is selling the record players for $116. So that whole setup, $116 right now on Amazon. That's pretty cool. All right, the next item up for bid is going to be the Vangoa CD player. At least I think that's what this is. So let's open this up and check it out. You know, I sold a Sony 5-disc CD player about 15 years ago because I thought I'm never going to play CDs again. And they stopped putting CD players in cars, they stopped putting CD players in computers, and you know, some of my game systems won't even play CDs. So I'm like, I'd like to play some CDs from time to time. So this is a portable CD player according to the box. So let's take a look in more detail regarding this. So being portable, not sure really what that's going to entail. Okay, we've got some red felt packaging. I really like the Vangoa packaging. They really box stuff really cool. It's neat. Portable all-in-one CD player. This is the model VCP01. By the way, I'll put links in the description for both of these items today. I am not sponsored or paid by Vangoa to do any of these. They give me these products and want me to put them on the channel. So the way it works, if they actually operate properly and I think they're nice, the item winds up on my channel. And you know, I get free stuff out of it, which is always nice. It's kind of like Christmas every time I get something new. And Vangoa are cool. They're a nice company to work with. Everything they've ever sent me. Look at this thing. I don't know if this is gonna operate the way that I was intending it to operate with my stereo system, but this is kind of unique. This looks like that. It looks like a Fisher-Price toy. It's pretty cute, actually. It's got a USB in, and it's got a USB-C port on the back, and it's got a auxiliary out, so you can go aux out with it. How do you play CDs on this thing? Surely to God, you just don't put the CD player on the top, the CD on the top of this. I can't imagine. There's speakers on the front of it. If this plays a CD like a record, I'm going to be blown away. Surely to God, that's not the case. This has plastic on the top of it. I'm going to leave the plastic on the item itself. So here is a cable that it comes with. This is a USB to USB-C. Cable for the back of this unit. So we've got USB, and then we go USB-C on this end to connect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the instruction manual and take a look and see how to operate this thing. Here's the volume. This is the advance button. This is the play button, and that's the reverse button. And that button says M. So I'm thinking that's a mute button. It says, please take this card out before playback. So what I'm going to do is find me a compact disc, read this manual, and we'll be back in just a moment. Okay, I've got the CD player set up and ready to go. I used this just a little bit before filming this to make sure I completely understood how to operate the CD player. So the first thing you have to do is get you a block. I took my iPhone block and ran it to the USB cable and put the USB cable in the back of the unit for power. And as you can see, we're getting a power indicator on the front. Okay, I'm not going to use the remote control just because I've got enough controls on the front to make it operate just for ease of use. The thing is very simple. So you raise this up, and very much like a record player, you've got to put this. You got to engage this like this, and when you move this way, it's going to say power on.
Power on. CD mode.
Okay, so we're in CD mode. I'm not going to demonstrate it in Bluetooth mode. I'm just going to play the CD. Now this band, this is a CD of my band from 1999, 2000. Look at this handsome devil right here. That's me. And that's Troy, and that's Debbie, and that's Vic. We had a small deal. What a great band. But as you can hear, it's playing. I'm going to advance to a different song. This is just an intro track. So okay, this is one of our songs called Five Umbrellas. Okay. It's got the little LED readout there. If I hit pause, it pauses.
Last night, stormy weather,
Advance to the next track. Sounds great.
I love the way you look when you get up as always. And I feel the warmth in your stare looking back at me as always. And I need the breath of life that you bring to me. It sets me free as always. I can see what brings to life.
Okay, I'm going to pause. Now I'm going to put this back this way. And it should stop. One thing that the manual says is do not look into the CD light, the laser. I imagine if you didn't have a disc on here and you turned it on, the laser would show up. So I don't know, that may be a safety concern for some parents. You know, this is something you probably want to monitor around your child just to make sure it was used properly. I would think that that would be a concern. Maybe not, I don't know, but you know, this is a nice little portable CD player. On the front of the unit, it's got a USB-C and a Bluetooth light. So I'm wondering if the M is the mode for which you're going to, you know, these are the only controls on this thing. There's nothing else on the sides. So that must be, you know, the mode for which you're going to go to, whether it's Bluetooth or USB-C. So pretty cool. I looked these up on Amazon. Vangoa's got these for about 40 bucks, $39.99. So really not a bad price, and it's totally functional. Sounds pretty nice. Technology, gotta love it. Okay, there you have it. That's our unboxing of the Vangoa vinyl record player and the portable CD player, the VCP-01, both by the Vangoa company. I'll put the links in the description below. Check it out. The record player is only $116. This portable CD player is 40 bucks, so early Christmas presents or a gift for yourself might be something that you enjoy. Just wanted to share today. I want to thank Vangoa for sending these to me to showcase for everybody on the channel. Once again, I'm not sponsored. I just like to showcase items that you might be interested in on this channel and keep the content interesting. Speaking of content, if you like this kind of stuff, please consider subscribing, comment below, and as always, have a great day. Peace out.